This video walks you through the steps of adding your work from classroom management into your portfolio as your high-stakes artifact. You'll notice that I have lots of portfolios, so I'm going to show how to enter into the Secondary Ed 2012 graduate portfolio. I'm entering there. All you'll need to do in your portfolio is just make sure you go to Outcome 5 and find the name of your course, EHS 556 or EHS 456. Click on that section, and then from there on, all the directions should be the same no matter which portfolio that you're in. Just make sure that you get it in the right spot, because it has to be entered in the right spot in your portfolio to be assessed correctly for high stakes. Take a look at what I have here. You can see the end result is to have a portfolio reflection in your text and image section, then to have your work on your actual classroom management system, which I put here, and your work on managing misbehavior, which I put here. Notice I said I put it there. There's a lot of flexibility in TaskStream, so don't feel like this structure is the structure that you have to use in your entry. The main thing is that you have all of these elements there, and they're presented in a meaningful, clear way to your portfolio reviewers. Take a look at the web link section, and you can see how I used this button here. Do you see there at the bottom? I used the links button to create this learning environment system. I made a name for the link, I added the URL, and then most importantly, I would encourage you to look at this attachment description that I entered here. It went in the description field there. I could edit what I've already done if I wanted to. Of course, when you click on the links field, you won't have anything currently attached. You'll add your information there. You'll click Save and Return. I'm going to click Cancel. And you will have entered your website. That's if you're creating your system on the web. Just make sure you notice that you enter it with the links, not with any of the other buttons. That makes it so that it pops straight open when you click on it, when readers click on it. Then in the attachment section, I use the attachment section to enter the other elements. I put in documentation of managing misbehavior hours and a description. Make sure you get in the habit of using those description fields for your attachments. They really help explain your work. There's my reflection on managing misbehavior with a description, and then the overview. That's the overview of your whole system, and if you look at the description, you'll know what I'm talking about from our work together in the course. This is using the attachments button down here. So if I didn't have any attachments, I would click there. Right now, I could click on Managing Attachments. Either way, it takes me to the same spot. And you can see the 3 attachments that I've created. I could create a 4th one here, or if it's your first one, you'll come over here. You can browse your computer and find a file. You can name the file with a different name than the name that appears in the file name actually on your computer. And then there's the description field that I was adding to it. One thing that you'll want to note is if you look at the order of mine, and I'll cancel out of here so you can see how it appears back in the regular presentation, this overview probably should have been first. It probably would have made more sense if it was first. Well, I had forgotten when I did all this that I can't, with the Managing Attachments button, reorder the attachments. No big deal. But just keep that in mind as you create yours. If you want them to come out in the order that makes sense the most, then make sure you enter the one that you want to appear at the bottom of the list. Make sure that you enter it. Let me make sure I got this right. I entered this one last, so I should have entered it first, so it would stay at the top of the system. Hope that makes sense. Again, order's not hugely important, though, because up here in your text and image section, you're going to direct your reviewers to everything down below. So let's take a look at that. And before we do, make sure you look and see in your portfolio, is there a rubric? So in the 2012 secondary grad portfolio, there is this view rubric link, and when you click on it, you can actually see the rubric that goes with this outcome. Notice K and U. This is a knowledge and understanding outcome for EHS 456, 556. It is not a performance and skills outcome. That comes later when you're in student teaching, and that's important in a second in the reflection. So take a second. Why don't you stop the video and read through the reflection that I created. As you read through it, you'll see that I used a DRO style reflection. I described the work all the way through there. I described it, referring reviewers down below to the attachments and links that I created. Then I reflected on how it shows my growing mastery of the SOE outcome. Now, what I said before about the rubric makes sense, because this is knowledge. Many of you have hit proficient initial in your knowledge, but you're not proficient yet in creating learning environments. That doesn't come until student teaching, and if you'll notice in my reflection, I basically said I'm aware of that. And then here is the orient section of my reflection, where I help busy reviewers focus on the most important part of my artifact without expecting them to have to read through everything that I have down there. Remember, this would be most important when somebody was reviewing your whole portfolio, not just this one section, and they had over here, they had artifact after artifact after artifact, and they're looking through the whole portfolio from the top to the bottom. And if they stop here, what do you want them to focus on? I'm looking at this right here, and I'm wondering if I've paragraphed it correctly. I don't like that last little paragraph, but you can always, you probably know this from TaskStream, you can always go back and easily make changes. Hope that makes sense. Once you had all that done, then this pesky little "don't forget to submit" would come in to play as it's ready. When it's finally ready for submission for high stakes, you would click submit, and submit it to your instructor in 456, 556. Hope this overview helps. Remember that there's flexibility. You do not have to lay yours out as I did here, using this kind of setup for attachment and web links. I just tried to use the features of TaskStream to showcase the work that this mock-up of the work that I've done, and try to model that for you. Bottom line is, you need to present your system, you need to present your work on managing misbehavior, and then you need a reflection that helps people see how you believe you're growing toward outcome 5, the knowledge and understanding portion of outcome 5, not necessarily yet the performance and skills.